But first tonight, we knew it would happen, and it has. Jews have been murdered at their own place of worship. After 2 years of taunts, anti-Semitic attacks, pro-Palestine rallies, threats and intimidation, all bobbing along, festering, growing and growing, someone has actually gone and done it on the holiest day on the Jewish calendar, Yom Kippur. 2 Jews murdered in cold blood in a terror attack on Western soil. Well, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The globalised the intifada, that anti-Israel brigade preach week in, week out that we hear, it's happening in front of our very eyes. It's yet another day of thoughts and prayers and condolences to the community. Forget it. We're too late now. Way too late. The horse has bolted. And the scary part is, don't think it can't happen here. In Manchester on Thursday morning local time, 2 people were killed when a car was driven into crowds at the Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue. The victims were then stabbed to death. Here is how it unfolded, and a warning, this vision is distressing.
Armed police, their guns trained on the suspected attacker.
Get back! If you're not involved, move back! Get away! Somebody stay with the keys! Everybody else! He has the phone! Go away! He's got a bomb on him! Mate, he's got a...
They try to get members of the public away.
Man, he's got a bomb on his jacket, mate. He's trying to go into school. Mate, he's stabbed him. He's got a gun. No, he's got a bomb. Get out of here.
The victim of the attack lies on the floor.
Mate, if he detonates... Mate, I'm just jumping out of this in a minute. He's going to blow himself up. He's trying to press the button.
When the attacker ignored their instructions.
Like, shoot him!
The terrorist has been identified as Jihad al-Shami, a 35-year-old British citizen of Syrian descent. He was shot dead by police at the scene. UK police have now confirmed 3 people have been arrested and are being held on suspicion of commission, preparation and investigation of acts of terrorism. They are 2 men in their 30s and a woman in their 60s. And the saddest part of all this is, are we even surprised that it's happened? Now, I hate to say it, but I'm not. Hate has been allowed to fester in democratic nations around the world, and we certainly aren't immune. The West is losing the fight, and it sits at the feet of woeful, weak and incompetent leaders, like Anthony Albanese, like UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. When you demonise Israel, reward terror, turn a blind eye to hate on home soil purely for politics, it creates the perfect environment for anti-Semitism. This attack in Manchester is a consequence. Someone has taken it into their own hands. The world is a soup bowl of hate, entrenched in an ideology which is being thrust upon Western democracies under the guise of healthy and sustainable multiculturalism. Now, we cannot sugarcoat this anymore because we are losing the battle. Jews have now been murdered in a place where they should feel the most safe. How many more warnings do our leaders need? Yet a conga line of them fell over themselves at the United Nations 2 weeks ago and recognised Palestine, including Anthony Albanese. And who gave him and Keir Starmer a pat on the back? Hamas. So again, are we really surprised at what has happened overnight? The haters have been emboldened and have been given a tick of approval. And again, don't think that this can't or won't happen here in Australia. The warnings are flashing right in front of us. Week in, week out, we are subjected to hateful anti-Israel protests. Flags of terror groups are being waved in our streets. Hate preachers brag about being elated by the Hamas terror attacks. The Australian and Israeli flags are set alight. A portrait of the Ayatollah of Iran is carried across the Harbour Bridge. Synagogues and businesses are torched. Iran is responsible for 2 of those attacks on home soil. Anti-Semitic slogans are graffitied on houses and businesses. Jews are intimidated day in, day out. Nurses are filmed on camera allegedly saying they would kill Jewish patients. And now in Manchester, it would appear someone has taken all of this a step further. Now, last night here in Sydney, as this attack was unfolding on the other side of the world, the anti-Israel mob were at it again. Hundreds took to the streets protesting against Greta Thunberg's flotilla being stopped by the IDF. They actually think that Greta and her merry band of followers are the real victims. Now, this video was posted to social media by Stand for Palestine, a group established by Hizb ut-Tahrir activists, a prescribed terror group in the UK. And now we're seeing activists wanting to hijack the Sydney Opera House for a second time to spread their message of hate and division. And they want to do this on October 12, 5 days after Jews paused to reflect on the second anniversary of the largest loss of life since the Holocaust. And I will have more to say about this planned protest later in the show, but I think the opposition leader, Susan Lee, summed up the mood today.
I just felt sick when I read through what had happened in the UK and the terror and the toxic hatred that underpins this hideous anti-Semitism. Now, we do need to draw a line in the sand when it comes to the protests that we continue to see in this country that are, at this point in time, completely counterproductive. They do come from a position of division and hatred.
We are literally watching our country fall apart, and the Manchester terror attack could not be a bigger warning. Now, we can't hide away from the truth anymore. We have let some people into Western countries who have extremist values which are incompatible with a Western democracy. They hate us, they hate the West, they hate our values and what we stand for. And based on what we have witnessed here since October 7, 2023, the complete fraying and decay of our social fibres, I do not think we have control over the culture we are trying to create here anymore. Labor granted 3,000 Gazans visitor visas last year with little to no security checks. 2 weeks ago, Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke had a private meet and greet at Sydney Airport with dozens of refugees from Gaza. Now, I'm not suggesting anyone in this cohort is problematic. However, the question needs to be asked, of all new arrivals into the country, what security checks have been carried out? And in the last hour, we have just found out that 6 people, including ISIS brides, have smuggled themselves out of Syria and returned to Australia. The Herald Sun is reporting that Labor is aware of the group, including some of the women's children. And after being processed by Lebanese agencies and comprehensive security checks and DNA testing by Australian agencies, they were issued passports. Well, who approved this? And why was it kept secret? We should know if there are any risks. And look, Anthony Albanese has been weak and mealy-mouthed from day one. Stand up and have some courage, Prime Minister. The global intifada is playing out in front of us. And if this terror attack in Manchester is not a big enough wake-up call, I truly fear for this country.